All right, graphic design 1. Just get this thing started off. I really apologize. My microphone's been acting up. The volume's all weird and low, kind of grainy. So do me a favor, just kind of turn your volume up. Make sure you can hear what's going on. I'll be interested in what we're going to be doing for this kind of last part of our vector project. So we learned how to make some shapes with our pen tool. We learned how to create our own custom image. And now we're going to go to the point of tracing, okay? There's a couple different steps to this thing, but the one that I really want you to focus on is, as I've said before, we need to make sure that we're looking at images as shapes. They're shapes. They're not necessarily lines and value and shading because we're working in a vector-based program. So what our project is going to be is you are going to trace out and recreate a cartoon character. Now, there's a couple different requirements that I have for you here, but also understand that this project is going to be geared towards you and your ability. If you feel that this whole vector thing has just been blowing your mind and it's really difficult, then do something pretty simple. If you feel that you really got the hang of it and you want to make something pretty cool, then step it up a little bit and challenge yourself. But let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to open up my Google browser, and I'm going to look for my favorite cartoon character ever. My man, Mr. Heinz Doofenshmirtz. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up this Doofenshmirtz. I'm going to try to find one that looks like it would be pretty functional. I think this looks decent. It's 360 by 450, so I'm not going to worry about the size too much because I'm going to be vectoring it myself. So I'm going to right click on this. I'm going to go save image as. I'll save it to my downloads. It says Heinz Doofenshmirtz. PNG image is okay. I press save and I'll be ready to go. Now, what we do not want to do is look up characters like my boy Mike Wazowski. Why do we not like to, that's a good one right here. Why don't we like to do a Mike Wazowski in a vector-based program? Because Mike Wazowski is three-dimensionally rendered. There are shadows. There's blending all over his body. And we're not necessarily ready to do that in Illustrator. If you did want to do Mike Wazowski, I would maybe put Mike Wazowski 2D. There we go. That's something we can make. We can make this Mike Wazowski. We can make this Mike Wazowski. But anything that has shadows and looks three-dimensional, we don't necessarily want to try to make. Okay. The other thing is, as I'm looking at my character and I look at Mike Wazowski, I realize that there's a lot of thick to thin contrasts in the lines. That's fine if I am preparing myself to make a shape right here, not a line, but a shape that goes thin, thick to thin. And then I can use a line for this one right here, but this has to go thin, thick to thin as a shape itself. Okay. These can all be circles with black strokes around them or black fill on them with a little white fill right there. But got to make sure that we're looking at breaking this down as a shape. Okay, so let me go and open up Illustrator. So now that I'm in Illustrator, I'm going to go to File, I'm going to go to Open, and I'm going to find my picture of Doofenshmirtz. There we go. I'm going to make him larger. And I'm going to click and drag and hold Shift and Alt. And then once I get him large enough to work with, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to lock this layer. Okay, now, for those of you working in Pixlr, you can do the same thing. It's totally fine. It's the same process. This is going to look a little bit different with the tools that you're using. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through and start trying to break this down into shapes. Oh, it's crazy pixelated. That's totally fine because we're going to vector it. So, as I'm looking at this, I want to look at it in layers. The first layer is going to be the farthest layer back, which meaning right here, this brown hair is on top of his head. So, the brown hair will be a higher layer, and the skin tone will be a lower layer. The eyes also fall on top of the head, but as you see, the little rings under his eyes are under the actual eyeballs themselves, but on top of the face and the nose. The nose is on top of this face piece. The face looks like it's on top of the teeth. The teeth look like it's on top of this mouth. And looking at it, it seems like that might be the farthest spot back. Okay? For the project, you are going to outline as much of the character as you possibly can. Now in this picture I have, there is no lower half of his body, so I kind of caught a break, and I'm not going to have to do the legs and the feet. If there were trees in the background or a building, I'm not worried about any of that stuff. I just want to see your character. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll start with the farthest one back. I'll start with the head, and like I said, will be this part of the mouth. So very, very simple. What I will do is I will take my pen tool, as we've been working with. I'm going to go ahead and open my entire pen tool catalog here, and I'm going to make a new layer to start my Doofenshmirtz. And I'm going to go click, 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 and complete my shape. Now, with that done, I'm going to take my colors over here on the left. I'm going to flip them. So now I have a stroke of white. My fill color is blank. And then I'm going to grab my eyedropper, and I'm going to come over and click on this mouth color. And there you go. My mouth is done. Now, obviously, this doesn't look like the mouth, but remember, we're using shapes, and this entire mouthpiece that I have right here is going to eventually be covered by teeth and by flesh. So I can leave this right here. I'll turn it off, I'll lock the layer, and then I will add another layer to start working on some teeth. Okay. Again, I'll use the pen tool on my new layer, and I will click right here. I will start right there. I'll come down to this point of his teeth, straight line up to this point right here, and I'll come up to this point right here. I'll come down and connect this. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip my colors once more. I'll take my eyedropper and I will go like this. Now, the teeth have a little bit of an outline color on them, and I can't just color select the outline color, because if I do that, it'll change the fill color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go like this to select the white to make sure my teeth are filled that color. I'm going to make a box up here, just a regular generic box, and I'm going to take my eyedropper and take that outline color and fill that box with it. Now, once I've done this, I need to try to find the Pantone color. And this is what a Pantone is. We've talked about it a little bit in class, back when we were in class together. But if I double click on my color picker, it'll give me this code down here on the color that I have selected. So the Pantone for this color is EFCB99. I can take this color, put it into any computer, put it into any program, and it'll come out as this exact same color. It's the code that's assigned to this color on the palette. So if I right click and I copy, I can close this, cancel it out. And then if I come to my teeth, I'm going to double click on my stroke color, and right here I'm going to right click and paste. There's my EFCB99. I press OK, and there you go. I have my skin tone, or the outline color, and I have my teeth. I can click right here. I can turn off my Doofenshmirtz, and now I see I have my mouth background with my teeth, and I have this color box I no longer need, so I'll click on that and backspace it. Let's go ahead and turn Doofenshmirtz back on. I'm going to turn this off, and there's a little line right here for his teeth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new layer. I'm going to add this little line real quick. Boop. Like that. It's going to be the same color as my teeth that I had. If I turn those back on. My fill color is white, but there is no fill because it's a straight line. And then my stroke color is that pink skin tone. I press OK. I deselect it, and now I have that. I'm going to go kind of quick now, and I'm going to do the bottom set of teeth. Okay, now I have that bottom set of teeth. I will turn on my top set again. I will grab my eyedropper. I will click right there, and now I have both sets of teeth, one on top of the other, with my mouth insides on the very back. Another thing I can do right here that can help myself out, it's not as easy in Gravit, is I can unlock these layers, but then I can double click out here on the layer name, and I can change it. Inner mouth. This one right here is upper teeth. So I can go upper teeth. And then I have this little line. Remember, I can take that line, I can drag it into my unlocked upper teeth layer. And now it will be there with my upper teeth all in one layer together. This one obviously will be my lower teeth. And I need to add one more little line on top of my lower teeth. Right there. Pen tool. Okay. Those two are together. I'll drag that into my lower teeth. Now when I turn off Doofenshmirtz, I have this. We're getting there. It's not quite perfect yet, but remember, all of this stuff is going to be covered. Now, this is where the magic really starts. Now I'm going to start doing the face, the skin portion. I'm going to break this face into I'm going to break this face up into a couple different pieces. So make sure we're following along right now. I have my teeth that cover my mouth. The face also covers the teeth and the mouth, but we see this extension right here. Now, looking at this, I'm going to break this up into a couple different shapes, this head piece. I'm going to start right here, make the bend in the mouth, and then I'm going to come up, but I'm going to go all the way across the nose because the nose looks as if it's setting on top of the face. So my stroke's going to come down here. It's going to bend around the lip, and it's going to come up underneath the nose, and it's going to keep going up underneath where the eyes are going to be, up to where the head is going to be, the hair is going to be, and then I'm going to come back down to about right here. That will be the top of my head. Then I will come back and make another one that comes down like this, around the lip, around the chin, around the neck, up here again, and that will be the bottom of my face. Both of them will be on top of this, and then I will make an ear on top of that. I'm going to speed it up for you so you don't fall asleep while I'm doing this, and I'll come back and talk to you guys in a bit. Okay, so here's the outline of the top of his head. I'm going to go do that trick I did before, where I'm going to make a box out here. I'm going to fill it with this little stroke color. Looks like it's a little more of a peach color right here. And then I'm going to take and select my Doofenshmirtz stroke. I'm going to fill that stroke with my cream color here. I'm going to click this, find its Pantone, which is right here. It's a little bit different than the last one that we had. I'm going to copy, cancel that out, come back here to my face piece, take my stroke color, I'm going to paste this in here, press OK, and now I have this site outlined. Let's see how it looks. That looks kind of weird. I turn all this on though. It seems like it's starting to come together. Okay. Now I'm going to go continue to do the bottom part of the face. As I start this, I want to make sure that I'm starting up here where the top part of the head is going to overlap the mouth, or if I want to start over here, start where the ear is going to overlap the mouth. So I'll start up here. It's really nice that it's black. It makes it really easy to see. Peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys. Now it's kind of hard to see, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this fill color and I'm going to change it up or turn it off. Okay, time to clean it up. Fix this down here. This handle looks all right. I'll throw it off a little bit. It's a little too deep. Now notice that I'm trying really hard to get these lines as precise as possible. The more you do this, the better your character is going to end up looking. So it's really important that we're precise to these little lines. Trying to make sure they're all shaped correctly. Here's where I'm going to use that trick again, where I hold Alt, click and break off that handle. Hold Alt, click, break off this handle. A nice little curve. And then once I have this, I'm going to select it. I'm going to turn on my top part of my head. I'm going to grab my eyedropper. I'm going to click there. And now what we see is we have much more of Doofenshmirtz's face. Where's that bottom set of teeth at? Ooh. Upper teeth, lower teeth. My lower teeth are turned off. That's why. There you go. Now I have this kind of earthworm Jim looking Doofenshmirtz. Now can we see our mouth is in a different order compared to what the original image looked like? All I gotta do is switch the top of the head and the bottom of the head. And there you go. Now I'm going to add the ear. Okay, super fast forward now. I'm going to do the ear, the nose, the eyes, and the hair. Get all that stuff cleaned up so we can have our Doofenshmirtz head. And then I'll let you guys go on your own and get your stuff done. Okay, so feel free to ask any questions. Email me any questions if you have them. And enjoy this speed up. All right, so there you go. There's my Doofenshmirtz face. Hopefully that makes some sense. When I finish up this project, I'm going to end up going and obviously adding on the rest of the body that I have here. But for right now, I just have that face. You are going to do the same thing. Impress me. Make something really cool. Hopefully you enjoy the process. Again, one of the reasons we do this is now we have this, we take this pixeled image that we had before, and now when we zoom in, this is nice and clean. We can print this out on a gigantic poster, and it'll look fantastic when it's all said and done. So with that being said, good luck, have fun, and enjoy creating something cool with your programs.